What up, Total Beauties? It's Mary here, and we have an awesome Facebook Live for you on today, which is a Friday. We're going to show you some easy summer hairstyles with Garnier and the amazing Tommy Bucket.
Hey guys.
Welcome. If you're unfamiliar with this man, he works with Garnier. He's got a bunch of celeb clients. He works at Fashion Week. So basically, he's a font of knowledge. So if you have questions, be sure to ask him in the comments. We're going to start with our lovely editor-in-chief, Jill. He's going to do an easy, breezy summer look on her, and I'll let him take it away.
Cool. So for summer, everyone wants texture. Whether it's beach waves or like texture, they want to look cool, they want to look summery. And also too, like even with Jill, she probably just wants to encourage texture. She has great hair, but I'm sure like it's always like kind of straight. So we're going to show you like a really cool thing that you can do in minutes. To get texture into your hair. Everyone wants beach waves for summer, but I kind of am over the look of like where it's like perfect, and it's like this 90s kind of grunge hair is kind of really all over runways and everyone wants it. It's that effortless kind of look to it. So
Great for Jill, who went
yeah.
through a real grunge phase.
Did you go through your grunge phase?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was in college in the 90s.
Did you read Jane magazine all the time?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it's like a clog. Like, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a classic 3-strand braid.
Even I can do a 3-strand braid.
It's easy, right?
Yeah.
So what you're gonna
Speak
do?
for yourself.
Exactly. So you do a 3-strand braid, and then encourage a little bit of this messiness to it. I'm gonna use a little bit of sheer set hairspray.
And that's like a light hold.
Yeah,
hold.
it's super brushable.
Cool.
And then we're gonna use a flat iron here, and we're literally gonna go over the braid.
Shut up.
Back and forth,
Wow.
easy. And you kind of let it there, and you let it sit, and like let it sit up and cool. And you're gonna go next section.
About how
Hairspray
much?
smells good.
Yeah, doesn't
much-
it? It's nice and pretty.
About how much hair are you braiding? Like, it's just kind of eyeballing it.
I'm kind of eyeballing it.
Okay.
Also, too, like the thicker your hair is,
Uh-huh.
the smaller the section should be, and the finer your hair is, the larger it should be. It's a good
Okay.
rule. Sometimes, because you don't want it too particular. This is like something where you're like, oh, you've been working all day, you have a little event, you have a date, you have something that you're like, okay, I need to do something.
Yeah.
Again, a little more hairspray.
Jill, do you have a date tonight?
Hot date,
Well,
Jill?
I'm gonna have to now.
Call up Ryan, we're going out.
Date with a 2-year-old.
Pretty much.
Nice. There's nothing wrong with a mom date. Come on.
Ooh.
I don't know if you could
Like a
appreciate my hair.
foolproof way to get the beach waves.
Yes, it's not even a beach wave. It's kind of like more of a bend. It's gonna be a little edgier. It's gonna be a little cooler. It's not gonna be so like pretty.
Precious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like where it's
We
like
like
a
edgy.
curl. Yeah.
The edgy hairstyles of the summer.
I feel like too, like everyone wants that, and it's a lot more obtainable than what people think. Or before, like we would always have to worry about like, oh, I need a wand, I need a curling wand, I need this, I need that. So now it's like everyone has a flat iron.
It's true. And somebody actually, Kathy Baker, just asked, she's still learning to do the darn beach wave with a straight iron and she can't get it. Well, stay tuned, Kathy.
We're gonna show you, Kathy.
All your wishes.
Get
are
ready.
I can't get it either. Tried so
I
many
know.
times.
We've all tried, and we're gonna learn.
The
today.
trick
Darn it.
is the flat iron. I love a flat iron with a little beveled edge to it,
Oh.
like where it's like a little smaller and finer to it. Like if you can see the edges of my flat iron, they're a little beveled on the edges here, which makes that nice kind of
Oh,
shape to
it's
it.
gotta make a difference.
Also too, when you're flat ironing, don't be a little more loose with it.
Mhm.
Don't think you just like clamp
Oh, yeah.
it and really go for it. Like as you can see with Jill, like I'm clamping and I'm almost like clicking or like, I'm not really going too
Yeah.
vigorous. Also too, it's like your hair doesn't need that much heat anymore. You know what I mean?
What temperature would you recommend?
I would say be realistic about the temperature. Do like a little strand test to see. There's nothing worse, I think, than like when you're just baking your hair. Like if you have like hair like Jill that's like a lot of fine hair, and it's like uncolored and stuff like that, you don't need to raise it to like 450 degrees. There's no need for it. I have it on like, what do I have it on? 400.
Okay.
Even with finer hair, I'll like even bring it down even more.
Nice.
So again,
Yeah.
see how I'm just like kind of just getting that texture in there,
Yeah.
moving it.
Love anything that calls for imperfection.
Yes. But it's so funny, like the more imperfection it is, the cooler this will look. And I'm just kind of going. So,
I can't wait to see it. Does this look like something I can do myself?
yes.
So,
Sure.
So now that you have it like all kind of like this, now the best part, use your fingers and break it all up.
nice. It's, yeah, just like a little bit of texture.
It's a little bit of
Kind
texture.
of that like you
Mhm.
said, like effortless, a bit grungy, just kind of like I woke up like this and I'm ready to go.
See how it gives just a
Yeah.
little bit, like where it's like, oh, there's something like kind of cool and very like effortless about it. And then I love texture tees. It's like one of my favorite products ever. So I lift up sections, and this is like a dry texture spray, where we'll get a little bit of life and a little of that coolness to it. Also, too, you can see like how she just got her haircut. I like how it like kind of,
The layers.
yeah.
Brings up the layers.
Mm-hmm. And it's not a beach wave. It's just kind of cool. It's like all the French girls wear their hair.
Yeah.
like
Oh,
this.
that's a really anything the French girls
Yeah.
are doing.
We want to do too.
Where it's like you get it. And then afterward, you can even, like if your hair is a little finer too, and it like does not want to hold it, you could use a little hairspray, or I love the Beach Chic spray on dry hair. It's really great when you want like a little texture, and I usually put that like on the ends.
And is this a product that's just intended for dry hair then, or you can use it
Wet
on-
or dry.
Okay,
It's a
that's
beach
nice.
spray, so it's like it encourages texture and everything
Uh-huh.
like that, but I like it also too, like if you get like a really fancy blow dry at a place and it's almost too done or too straight and you're like, oh, it looks too pretty,
Yeah.
a beach spray afterward is amazing because it will like kind of wreck it in a way and give it a little texture. So sometimes like when you're like at like an out of town wedding and you can't get your normal hairstylist to do your hair, go get a blow dry and then go get some Beach Chic, and it kind of like gets a little texture to it.
Is it a salt-based spray?
Yes, it is. That's what gives it the guts and everything for it. So as you can
Yeah.
see, we have one
You
side
can see the difference.
Yeah. of this. A
Kind of
little
backcombing.
backcombing, just on the like the top section.
It's gonna give you big sexy hair.
Yeah.
Sex
I
hair.
know what I like.
Uh-huh. But I like how it gives just like a little oomph right here. So you can see, and like the cooler it is, the more texture it is, it's amazing. Also too, I love it at this point, even if you want to like throw it in a messy knot or like a little ponytail or something too, you create the base or you create the style to it.
Excellent. Well, Jill, you can take your rebel hair and.
Now we gotta do the other side for Jill.
Go like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll make sure that she gets the other side done before she heads out to her hot date tonight. That she is now going to plan.
Exactly.
So show it off. Awesome. So next up, we're going to have editorial assistant Jess in the chair. Jess tonight is very excited to go to see Suicide Squad, as I imagine many people are.
Stoked.
So she's going to go. We're going to give her like a badass look, right?
We are. I think like with Jess, sometimes like girls like this like want a cool like kind of severe look or like a mohawk or like kind of like a short haircut will like kind of face.
Yes.
Where it's like Jess has this great piece in the front right here, which is like really cool on her face. I'm gonna show you a quick trick, and it's an old school like almost French twist. But instead of twisting everything and leaving it back, we're gonna keep the top out and throw it all in her face. So it kind of looks like a cool mohawky, kind of like a severe, like shaved, cool girl hair.
Excellent. And you don't have to bust out the razor.
Nothing.
So excited.
Cool.
So what we're gonna do is like I'm gonna section a mohawk section, and a mohawk section should be from the highest point of your arch in your eyebrow. So like we have Jess's like eyebrow right here. See, I'm gonna go all the way up, straight. That's where your part should be.
Interesting.
Yeah, sometimes like you do it too narrow, and you end up looking a little too like pinheady because it all kind of like both kind of pops up there. So realistically, even if you wanted to shave your head or you wanted to shave a side of it, you should go down a little lower, and it's always by the arch of your eyebrow.
Why is that?
It's just like a symmetrical thing where it's like even your part, if you wanted a side part, a really great way too is the highest part of your eyebrow because it'll cut the face in a way where it's not cutting your whole face off, it's still showing your face, but like it's very like visually pretty. So here's what we're doing here. We're gonna smooth this out. So what I'm doing is like the mohawk section again. I like in the back here, I always love, I don't know why, I love a little tail in the back.
Like a rat tail?
Yeah, like if you're
Like
gonna
a
do it,
sheep
like it's like a
Yeah,
cool,
yeah.
like, you know.
No, it is.
So what I do, instead of like going all the way across, this is really nice too, on the round of her head, where it rounds out, I'm gonna do a little triangle section right here.
Oh, wow, that's like a perfect triangle.
So we're gonna clip it out of the way. Now, we're gonna use hairspray and be generous with this.
And you can still use like a flexible hold.
Yes.
Kind of have that
This is a
heavy
flexible
hand.
hold hairspray, but like I'm using it really, like see how close I sprayed that? So you're kind of like getting the product really worked in. Also too, I like it when it creates that like nice lacquered finish to it.
Looks very trendy. Oh, Jess, you're gonna love this.
I'm stoked. I have been trying to figure out how to do like a faux mohawk or anything like this for so long.
Don't be afraid to use hairspray or product, especially with something like this, because if you're not generous with it, it's gonna fall and you're gonna have like this falling hair. It's not gonna be what you wanted. So we're gonna do a classic French twist. So we're gonna get our bobby pins in here, and we're gonna make almost like a line or like a seam halfway on the head on the other side. So you go up to create a little bit of that hair. You want to catch that little hair, all that little baby hair on the neck there. And then you flip it and you go down. So it really locks in everything. Again, you're gonna go up. See how I'm almost like bricklaying these too? I do not want any hair to like come out of this. So no gaps in this at all. Down.
And just use as many as it takes to get to the top.
And this is the most important part too. Like, you need a really secure like line in here. And with a real French twist, I have a very amazing boss, Serge Normand, who's very French. And he says you should be able to do a classic French twist with 3 bobby pins.
Whoa! Is that like a hairstylist test?
It's like if you're amazing like he is and like just knows how to do it, it's a lot of back combing, but it's bigger. So we're gonna make this like a little cooler because we want it to look a little more edgy. So that's what we're gonna do. So
could you pass the test, the 3-pin?
I couldn't, and he showed us
Sounds
to
really
do it. Also, too, you're around someone like that and you're really nervous.
Oh yeah, I'll
Because
bet.
like yeah,
He's like a master.
he's a master.
Sounds like me playing Flip Cup with Mary.
Oh. We won't
Really?
that. I have a very sordid past.
Got it.
Just kidding.
So we have that step right there, as you can see. Now, again, we're gonna take this mohawk section all the way over. See, we can see like I grabbed it right here, but it's still not perfect. I'm gonna grab just a smidge more in the front.
Any tips for like a straight part from I challenged?
Like a little like a tail comb like this, or I use a lot of chopsticks.
Oh, cool.
So something like that. So
Little hack.
don't throw them away when you get your Chinese takeout. You can keep them. So we're gonna move all of this hair out of the way. Clip it over. We want all of this to be out of the way. Again, now we're gonna go over into this side and we're gonna comb this all back. More spray.
Yeah.
See how I kind of saturated that?
Yeah. Seems like it helps.
Don't be afraid. Use the back of your hand or even the back of the comb. Or if you really wanted something super streamlined too, a bristle brush, like a Mason Pearson or something. See how it really gets it like super tight?
Again, that lacquered look.
Mm-hmm. That's what I think is going to make it look cool too and like really modern and streamlined if it's like lacquered. Also, if you really wanted to ensure it, like put a little gel on there.
Hair's not going anywhere.
Your hair's not going anywhere
Your
today.
look all weekend.
Get ready.
Even my
Suicide
hair could
Squad.
bust out of Arkham.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna comb everything back now to like right about here. So you comb it all back. If you need a friend to help you, I think also too, it doesn't matter if the back is like a little messy. Again, really get it saturated. And really make sure you get that hairline up too. So all those little baby hairs go up like that. Now, comb back, straight, straight, straight. So it's all one sheet like this.
Wow. It is tight.
More spray. It's tight. We want it tight. Now, what you're gonna do, you're gonna take your finger and you're just gonna roll in with all of this, covering all those little pins that you just put in there. So really like get over there and roll.
How's that feel, Jess?
Oh, it's tight.
It's
But I like it.
So we could take a little pin, the little French pins, and we just like, dink. A little in here. I always too love to go in and then back around
That's a good
because
tip.
it really gets it super tight. So if you go out like this, you go with the hair and then against it.
If you have very long hair, is this even possible, this twist?
Yeah, it can be. I would flat iron it or something
Yeah.
before. Also, too, if you have really long hair, the longer the hair, the more hair you're gonna have back here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like just let it go. Also, like when you get up to here, I just like to like mash it with your fingers,
Hide it.
hide it.
I don't think my hair's gonna move during my workout at all. This is like so tight. It's awesome.
Also, like I'm not being so gentle with like I really want to make sure it's in there.
Oh, it feels
So I'm mashing down all that hair. Let me know too if it like okay that
no,
one.
it feels
pain, no
great.
gain. It's just giving you flashbacks.
Beauty
to your
is
mom's hair.
pain.
Yeah, this is like a head massage to me actually.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
digging it.
High threshold. Remember my mom would threaten to cut my hair if I complained when she was like
Brushing it.
Yeah.
That's what I did with my little niece the other day too.
That
Her mom was like, you know what? You're 8 and you can't brush your hair, so we're gonna cut it off. She had a couple good little dreadlocks in there too.
No.
So again, you don't really have to go so crazy back here and make it perfectly, you know what I mean?
That
If
looks
you
secure.
really want to, yes you can, but you'll see what'll happen. It kind of looks, you still want it to look cool and like seem effortless and like a little texture to it. But again, and I'm really packing in those pins
Yeah.
right here too, same thing. So it's tight.
I could not do this at home just for the fact that I have lost all but like 2 of my bobby pins.
Well,
Wherever they are.
again, more
Yeah.
spray. Really close to it.
Wow. That is locked in place, I think. Could like run a marathon and I don't think
Mhm.
I'd budge, Jess.
Also, I like to like kind of take the tail comb and go in. Even this, it really gets all those pins in there, and it kind of like all those little hairs that you see. You can just kind of take your pin and get it all in there. Ta-da!
Ooh. Wow, the back is so sleek.
Now, all you do is take out this, and I like to flat iron a little of the top.
Oh, this is gonna look so badass.
Oh God, is this what it would look like if I had like a pixie?
Or like a short haircut with a long bang.
Yeah, right?
Oh, cute.
Damn, girl.
Or some edgy eye makeup today.
You should make your boyfriend think you cut your hair.
He would.
So also too, like, see how I didn't really care too much about the back because let it kind of like hang over all this. So you kind of like redo the whole thing. I love too, like making it really shiny. So I'm gonna use a little Garnier serum.
Shiny haired girls rule.
Shiny hair girls rule. Also too, it's kind of nice because it gets all those little ends like pieced out. If you have thicker hair too, like use a pomade.
And what's the product you were just using?
The Sleek and Shine, the serum.
Okay. I feel like you've got a bit of a, what's her name? Kristen. Why am I blanking?
Kristen Stewart vibe to it.
Yeah, totally. So cool.
Got that kind of undercut feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
But see how you can cover the whole thing?
Oh, that
She had all
looks
those like little
awesome.
layers. And if you really want to too, a little more hairspray on the ends.
Never hurt anybody.
Never hurt anybody.
That looks awesome. Yeah, maybe they'll cast you in the Suicide Squad sequel.
Harley Quinn #2.
Yeah.
Here I come.
So
And there you are. It
cute.
kind of like
Oh.
you get like a short hair kind of feel to it, but it's like super edgy. It kind of has like an undercut feeling to it.
That's sexy.
Yeah.
Looks amazing.
And it's a classic take on a French twist.
Yeah, so
Instead
if
of
you
like
love it.
bringing it back and rolling it
Right.
in, like just hide it. But it's a great way because it's beautiful. A French twist is beautiful in a head shape because what makes it feminine is this little like shape right here. Instead of being so flat, it gives it a shape. So when you pull this all over, you have that nice shape and like it goes along the neck.
Yeah, awesome. So if you guys know how to do a French twist, or if you learned today, like this is something that looks really cool and professional, and that you could totally pull off. Awesome. Well, Jess,
You're welcome.
you're ready for
ready.
the night.
I'm so excited.
Last up, put myself in the chair, and
Beach waves.
beach waves. I mean, beach waves are everything. I don't know. It's a very Very
It's
now.
kind of funny. I think they're the new classic hair.
yeah. It feels that way, doesn't it?
There's not one person that you see too that has done it where you're like, oh, she looks awful in beach waves. Like everyone
maybe I'll be the
looks
first.
good.
I'm just
No, everyone looks good.
Uh,
So again, we're gonna use little sleek and shine on the ends.
Nice. And you can, this is something for
This
dry
is-
hair or
For dry hair or wet hair, whatever it is. Whenever you're using heat on your hair, girls or boys, protect it. Use a little oil, use a little heat protector. That's why it's out there. Because it's nicer on the hair because it gives like a nice little buffer to it. So the more heat you put on your hair, the more damaging it is. So in a way, if you just want to like not get really dry hair, use a heat protector. Also too, you can see like when you really rub it in, when you really get it through the hair, it doesn't sit on the hair that much.
yeah. My
Or
ends
get
are really
greasy.
dry, so I feel like I probably need it.
So, everyone has heard of the flat iron wave.
We have, let me
Oh.
tell you, these three beauty editors in this room struggle with
So
it still.
what you're gonna do
Okay.
is relax, and don't be so with
Uh-oh.
it. You know what I mean? Don't think
Really
like,
good at
oh
being
yeah.
relaxed.
The trick is to use the proper iron. So I like to use a smaller one instead of a bigger one.
Just like
because-
1 inch or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also you can see the bend in the plates on the edges there. Very important. Instead of it cutting off, you want the bend because the bend in the plates will do all the work for you. So you take a section of hair, about 1 inch. You place it in, okay, instead of clamping down really hard, you're just literally going to
Oh.
S it.
Stop. Stop.
So you see
That
that.
works.
I didn't like
Wow.
use a lot of pressure on it. I wasn't clamping down. I literally just did this. Or you could go through and just give like a little flex to it, like this.
Huh.
So you have that one. Don't be
Wow.
so like worried that every section has to then match the other one. So this section I started here. Maybe this next section, I'm gonna leave it a little straighter here, and I'm gonna just go in again, really easy.
Nice.
And see how much I'm turning the actual iron too? Like going back, going forth, but I'm not using a lot of pressure. That's when you get all those little ridge marks
Oh yeah.
in the hair when you're forcing it too much.
Okay.
So you're just gonna kiss your hair with the flat
Ooh,
iron.
that sounds so sexy. Don't tell
And
my husband.
yeah.
Huh. I can't see it, but it feels cool. I'm getting positive responses from the peanut gallery. But again, like you were saying, not making it uniform. It's kind of like when you're doing Jill's hair too. It's
Yeah.
like this kind of imperfection is
It's
like
like,
part of what
yeah.
makes it look good. And if you think about beachy hair, like
It's all imperfected
Yeah, it's just
anyway.
very
It shouldn't
natural.
be all uniform.
yeah.
Again, go through. Just a nice light. See how much I'm turning it too? And I'm
Yeah.
almost using the outer part of the flat iron as the actual iron itself.
So you kind of like are dipping when you do that.
Mhm. I'm just kind of sweeping. Also, I'm letting the hair, like if you'll see the edge, I'm letting it, see how I like, boom, I'm letting it roll right on the top.
It feels very gentle. There's no tugging or
Yeah.
anything. It's just easy.
And is the iron closed all the way?
Barely. I'm not really closing it, I'm just kind of like, I'm closing it because we want the heat on the both sides, but I'm not adding a lot of pressure to it.
Hmm.
I did. If
She
you have to make a
reminds-
sound effect to make it
Yeah.
like easier, go for it.
You put on some, like go back to 1997 and
Yeah.
put on the dip song. Showing my age.
That was like the jam in the day,
Right?
yeah.
Man,
That was like
Like
the
middle-
dip.
middle school dances were popping.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my god, they're so pretty.
Yeah?
Again, if you really want, like, if you're like, oh, this piece is a little too, like, straight right here for me, just go in. See, I'm just kind of like, and I added a little more to it.
Huh.
So if you find a piece where you're like, I like it, but
I noticed you twisted a piece around your finger as you let go. Kind of
yeah.
Tendril. What does that do?
You know what I really like when the hair is still hot to kind of mold it. So at this point, if you find something too, if you get that curl or that bend that is a little too thunk, while it's hot, give it a little pull on the ends of the hair, and as it cools, it'll like even out. When you heat hair up, it's kind of like you're sculpting in a way, and it takes on whatever shape that you want it to as it's like cooling. So like see right here, I'm really putting it on my fingers, letting it cool, and when I let it go, see how much more of like an increase you have in it? So while hair is hot, it's your time to kind of like also perfect or imperfect how you want the curl to be. So it could either be a little more severe or it could be a little less, whatever it is. But as you can see,
Finger comb it.
use your fingers, the best comb ever.
Oh, really? I've got those.
And I just kind of go through and I'm like, oh, it looks great, but I really kind of like this little bit right here. I liked how it was like sculpted around her face. I'm gonna go in here, go in there, that. Can hold it up, and it kind of scrunches.
Oh my god, it like perfectly molds your face.
Oh,
So
yeah?
like also too, it's a great way to I do this on a lot of girls that like, oh, I want cheekbones. And it's a great way to give yourself cheekbones if you actually have the wave coming out at your cheekbone and then in, because when you look at somebody, it draws your eye out. So automatically you look at somebody and it just like pulls everything out like that.
It's
So.
like contouring.
Yeah. Without the makeup.
Yeah.
So you can see how it pulls it out and then it brings it back in.
That's handy.
So we'll do this other side too.
Yeah. What is like, you know, you work with tons of people. What's like the biggest hair mistake you see people making?
Oh God. Trying to fight something that's so not your natural texture. If you have somebody with super, super curly hair and they're just getting keratin treatments every 3 months, or their hair, they're getting it too much, where their hair is like kind of like getting so straight and lifeless that it's not good anymore and damaging. If you're using heat on your hair, you should definitely once a week, everyone should do this actually, use a mask on your hair once a week for 10 minutes. The more regimented you are about a mask, the healthier your hair is, and the like less frizz, it's easier to style, it all like makes it good. We put a mask or night creams on our face, but we always neglect the hair. Also too, as hair grows out of your head, the ends tend to lack keratin. It's just a natural thing. So putting the moisture and the keratin and everything, all the emollients and the oil back into your hair, it makes your hair. I love the Garnier, the Damage Eraser. It's incredible. What it is, it's like a nice tub, and there's something very luxurious about like reaching in, and it's like a lot. And that once a week, if you leave it on for 10 minutes, in 3 weeks, your hair will be incredibly different. Like it's shinier, it's softer, it's like more manageable, it's easier to style.
So a lot of hair masks, they say like 1 to 2 or even 5 minutes.
I think 10.
You think 10? You can,
Yeah,
okay.
it's not gonna hurt your hair
True.
if you leave it, you know?
And then Lisa was asking, what oils would you recommend to do a hair treatment with?
Oils, I love organic coconut oil. It's really amazing. The trick to coconut oil is put it on your dry hair before you jump in the shower.
Oh.
So everyone thinks like, well, I'll put it on afterward. Coconut oil is really hard to get out of your hair, but it's super moisturizing. So use it as a pre-wash. So if you put the oil on your hair or on the ends and into your scalp, it's also amazing for people that have psoriasis or dandruff. If you use a little bit of the coconut oil on there and really massage it in the ends and then shampoo it out. And when you shampoo your hair after a coconut oil treatment, give 2 shampoos. You need to get it out. Yeah, it's like after a while. The oils are great, but I really think like it's all about the mask, and they're formulated. They have the technology to like work better than the oil. I find the coconut oil after a while, it just sits on your hair a little too much and builds up. So it's nice when you have the proper technology so it rinses out.
Is there a hair trend you're especially excited about right now?
I love that this long 70s hair is coming back. Shaggy bangs and pieces like that. Like it's like I'm really into it. Also, I'm like the hair trend. The 90s are coming back again. All the kids want the 90s hair, which I like.
Yeah.
As you can see, my hair is kind of
No, I love it.
Kurt Cobain-esque.
It is Kurt Cobain chic.
We have another question.
Yeah.
Which hair mask do you recommend for thin hair?
The Grow Strong one from Garnier. It's really amazing, and it rinses all the way out. It's for normal to fine hair. So like, that's another thing with mask. Read the bottom of the container where it's like you know exactly what hair type you are. Be honest with yourself too. Know what you actually have, so it doesn't build up on the hair after a while. Also, another great thing is rinse out the whole time. Don't just rinse in the back and make sure it's like out. Get your fingers in there. Get the like all the conditioner rinsed out. Really squeeze out everything, and you won't get so much buildup on your hair. Cool. So as you can see, there's that right there.
Got mermaid hair.
You could either use a little texture tease or like a little hairspray. if you really wanted it to have that beachy look too, this is a great time for you to add the beach spray to it on the dry hair, so it gets all like salty and cool looking.
Nice. How's it look, guys?
Amazing. Yay. Love it.
So excited to check out a mirror.
You right?
Well, Tommy, thank you so much
Thanks
for
so much for
coming
having me,
in,
guys.
And you gave us so much good information. I'm sure our readers loved it. And Total Beauty, until next time, I'm Mary. This is Tommy. We had Jess and Jill up here. And have a great weekend.